of it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made.
Of course I'm boss. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Macy.
This is Dubs.
This is Dubs.
We're going to be doing some flying lead changes for you guys today. If you don't know who we are, what we're about, we're doing live videos of our training process the entire way through this quarantine so we can all come out of this better together. So in today's video, we're going to do some flying lead changes. This horse has not done any with us. Flying lead changes are one thing that we've got a ton of questions about.
Yep, a ton of questions.
Tons of questions. Everybody wants to do flying lead changes. It's really fun, really advanced maneuver though. Kind of takes all of the things that we've been doing and makes it one, right? Every piece that we've tried to get control of, this puts it all together, and it's a good test of how controlled are you, right? So in order to change leads, you've got to be able to take your horse and transfer his weight, right? So you're here, you got your weight over here, and switch your weight. That's the big thing. A flying lead change is a weight transfer. So we want to be able to transfer his weight off a button. That's the idea. You got to be able to switch off a button. We don't want him to transfer his weight for us. That's not good. This horse is a little bit...
he gets a little nervous.
He does. He gets a little bit nervous.
So you gotta really tone it down. And
yep. You
really
can't rush him. Yep. You can't rush him. So hopefully we'll get to see some of that today. Hopefully you guys will be able to see what we do with a nervous horse or when it's kind of fast off of our feet, because he tends to get a little bit quick. He tends to get a little bit rushy off of our spurs. Yep. Okay. So hopefully you guys noticed that there's less wind noise today.
Yeah, we got a new mic system. So
I did. I watched the video back for you guys, the showmanship, before I edited it up and put it on YouTube.
It was windy yesterday, though.
It was really windy, but it was bad, and I feel really bad for you guys.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah, so hopefully you guys noticed a little bit less wind noise. When I was playing with it earlier, I noticed a couple like clicks and pops. So you guys might get some of those. But
warmer today. I know
it is
beautiful.
hot today.
I love it.
Hot today. So hopefully you guys noticed less wind noise, maybe some clicks and pops. I'm not quite sure what those are about. Maybe some dirt in the speaker or something. But yep. Awesome. Love watching. Perfect.
Oh,
yes.
We'd
love to get back to Canada. Canada was so much fun. We got to ride horse on the beach on PEI.
And we got to see a concert.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. We saw cheat codes in PEI, and it was amazing. Ex-ambassadors and cheat codes. It was incredible. The horse on the beach, though.
I've never trail rode. Like I've only done like dirt, like just this, because I was scared. But
was
I finally
amazing.
got to go out onto like a trail ride, and it was a blast.
Like the tide went out, the tide came back in, and the beach went away,
and
we got to look through the ocean.
Through the ocean.
It was amazing.
And you would just be drenched.
So shout out to our friends from Canada. Canada was incredible. We would love to get back as soon as all this clears out of the way, which it will eventually.
Now.
Not soon enough. But
no, I'm bored.
So why did I bring that up? What were we talking about? Oh, Canada.
Canada.
Yeah. But anyway, so the YouTube, that's what I was talking about. The YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, we're really, really close to our 1,000 subscribers.
We are.
How many, like?
We're like 30 away,
20 away?
30-ish. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing it and spreading the word, subscribing on there. It means a lot to us. 1,000 subscribers on YouTube will allow us to go live on YouTube.
Which should be amazing.
Which should let us get better quality for the stream, right? We live like downtown. Like, if you want to show them the road. We live like on a busy street downtown city. So we're in the middle of the city. So for us, we've got really fast internet out here.
Yeah.
But Facebook doesn't let you take advantage of that. So we got to make sure that we can bump that quality up for you guys so it's a little bit clearer, a little bit crisper. Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna do lead changes today. We've got a Q&A session scheduled after this. If you post your questions now, don't forget about it and then not repost it later, because we won't be able to scroll up far enough to see them all. So if you have a question, type it out, write it out, make a sticky note, and ask it at the end. Yep. Because it's really hard to do questions in the middle.
We have a few questions on
our
Instagram page, so we'll start with those, and we'll give you guys some time to ask questions.
Yeah.
At the end.
At the end.
Yep. If it's not like directly related to what we're doing. If you have a question like, what are you doing in this maneuver? Like, what are you doing with your legs? Speak up. Macy's going to be behind the wheel today. She'll help you out.
I'm going to try. I'm going to be running. So.
She will be running today. But we're going to try to give you guys some good angles of these lead changes. So hopefully you guys can see it straight on, see that lateral move and what that weight transfer is going to be. Hopefully watch what my feet are doing. Hopefully she can keep up with me. I won't be going too fast.
It is a beautiful day to ride. I love it.
It's amazing. Clear blue skies. Not a cloud in the sky. It's perfect out here today.
It is beautiful.
So, yeah, so this horse, we did the horsemanship video on him. Like I said, we've had him for probably 3-4 months.
We've only, like, we haven't really worked on any fine lead changes.
No.
He's like, how to start a fine lead change.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get we'll be able to progress you guys from having a good foundation to changing leads.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be an issue at all to go from that to that today.
Right.
Like I fully expect to be able to swap leads both directions today.
Oh boy, we're counting on
I'm laying it out there. I'm laying it out there right now. We're going to change leads both directions today.
We're going to be mad at you if you don't do it.
You guys better buckle up because we're going to be out here for a while, maybe.
It's going to be a 4-hour video.
Going to be out here a while. Now, but it shouldn't be a big deal, right? Because all it is that lateral move this way, straight, and then switch that weight. And
it's just that easy.
It's just that simple, guys. It's just that simple. So as long as you have buttons on your horse's side and you have a good established lateral, you have rib control. Remember I said that was one of the first things that I do when I ride is get control of their ribs. It should be there.
It's just that easy.
Oh, it should be there.
We're counting on you.
I'm not going to let you guys down.
You better shake on this.
I'm on. I promise. I promise. We will change leads both ways. And there'll be even changes. We're not going to change front to back and be like, well, it's a good lead change.
Let's see it, cowboy.
All right, let's do this.
All right, I'm going to take this. Okay. There we go. Well, I'm going to turn you guys around. Uh-oh. There we go. I don't know. We're back, though. We're good.
Alright. So, first things first, I'm warming this horse up. I want to make sure I have control of his body everywhere. See, I already noticed I don't like how he's twisted his head. All of those little problems are going to show up when I go to change leads, right? Any amount of not having my horse square between my feet and my hands is going to show up. And that's why I like the lead changes so much with my young horses. Because anytime I get stuck on one, I'll just push them up and change leads, right? So if you're riding your young horse around or you're riding your kind of broke horse around and you're like, well, I don't really know where my problem is, I don't really know where my hole is, then getting on there and saying, hey, let's swap some leads and figure out where our problems are, right? See, I've walked him around a little bit now. You can see he's got less twist in his neck right there. I don't want him to twist his neck. I want to be able to bring that jaw in square in front of his shoulders, right? Square in front of his shoulders, right in there. So now, when I come towards you, you'll notice the difference. Minus the scary passive. Notice the difference coming right here. How that head neck is not as twisted anymore, right? He was leaning that neck down. I don't want that, right? I do not want him to lean his neck down, okay? So we're here, walking him around. I want to make sure I can kind of get him in this shape. Just test him on my feet. See, I quickened his stride right there. Don't want to quicken his stride. Just kind of wiggling my fingers, right? I tighten up on my reins so I can ride close to my horse. Don't want to get away from him. Really like how he's staying soft in my hands, right? Remember this horse, we were talking the horsemanship video, got a little problem bowing up his neck right here. So that's going to bite us a little bit when we go to change leads. I want to get his neck dropped right here. I've got a ways to go, but I should be close enough that I can get a little bit of both. So I'm going to step him up into a jog. Right? And it'll get better, right? His changes will get more accurate. His changes will be more accurate. Everything that he does will be better, but where I'm at right now should allow me to do a lead change. Should allow me. Are people saying it's not loud enough?
No, it's just kind of echoey off the greenhouse. I could. I just want to make sure I'm square.
Yeah. So, coming around here, making sure that my horse is sitting between my feet nice. For your lead change stuff, you want him up out of the dirt a little bit, so we don't want him going real slow. I want to put a little bit of wind under his wings, right? So don't try to come out here and go slow. Don't worry too much about that. He'll come back to us as he gets more lifty. And the cool part about that is, when he lifts into the air, he'll go slower anyway. So this kind of does double duty for checking your buttons and making sure he's up in his belly doing his job right. So we're coming around, making sure he's soft, making sure he's staying dropped in his neck. Right? And remember, I don't want to drop his neck down without asking his belly to come up too. So I'm kind of wrapping both feet and push him into the circle, push him out of the circle. You saw me doing this on Peanut a couple days ago. Push him out of the circle, push him into the circle. I want to be able to trade him back and forth between my feet. So right here, I'm going to push him to my outside foot, off my inside, and then wrap my outside, push him to my inside foot. And that move right there is going to be a big deal for us in getting control of his body, making sure that he stays up in his ribs. So once I have that, I'll turn loose, go straight. Give him a chance to kind of catch his breath a little bit. Come back around. We'll work the other side, make sure the side's warmed up. Right? And this is just my warm-up. This is every single horse, every single ride, making sure my horse is flexible on both sides, making sure I have him down in the bridle, making sure he's good off both feet. Now I go to my left leg here, and I feel some drift. Right? If you guys notice the difference, he doesn't really want to wrap back in right here the way I want him to. He kind of wants to get brazy up front, kind of loses his stride, loses my circle. I don't want him to lose himself as we go around here. So I'm going to work this right side a little bit, coming around, just checking, trading back and forth, going to push my right leg, a little too much, don't like that, there, step everything across, looking for good 1-2 movement, right? The better the 1-2 movement right here, the better he's going to be when I go to swap leads, okay? So it's really important that we get a good solid cadence across here, right? I'm trotting long, 1-2, 1-2, beat, gate, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, right? When I push him across, I'm paying attention to the rhythm of his footfall. So right here, push across, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, back in. Okay? So I want that to stay consistent and steady no matter what I'm doing with him when I ride. I'll turn loose, let him go along. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. That's what I'm looking for. Okay?
We had a little problem here with the audio yesterday, so I'm just going to talk over and give you guys an idea what we're doing. This is for Roger that was asking me about his horse holding his head too low. So if your horse breaks at his withers and he drops his neck down, then you're free to work your hands up, which is really what we're going for. So if I can pick his neck back up to me, bring his jaw back up to me by shuffling my hands up like this, then when I put him back down, his neck's going to level back out. So see, I'm just moving real fast, shuffling my hands, and then he's going to stick his nose back out. And this horse is really important because he was scared of our hands at first. So when we go to our hands on him, he just can't keep his chin back and be folded up in his neck. But when you work his face and you like shuffle back and forth like that real fast, and then you pitch him back out, you see how he sticks his nose back out. It's much easier to get him to carry his neck where I want. So if your horse carries his neck too low, get those arms up in front of you, shuffle your hands up, and get that chin into and up into his body. You're kind of looking to bring his chin into his shoulder from there. So if he'll stay down in his withers, then you're free to work up, which is a good problem to have. So I like that. It's a good problem. You want to get to that point with your horses where you can kind of work in front of you and shuffle up. If you can get there, then you're well on your way to being a one-handable horse.
Okay, so warming this horse up, coming around, getting him tucked up where I want him, getting him worked up where I want him. A little bit of wind under our wings, we're going to speed things up. The cool part about speeding
Thanks, guys.
up is it's going to be easier for him to lift his back. All right. So remember that when you're riding, we talked yesterday about forward creating a lot of correctness in our showmanship. It's the same thing for our riding. Forward will create a lot of correctness. So when you're riding along here, don't be afraid to get him up a little bit. I want this horse to really be using his back, right? Really use this piece under me to get good cadence and good rhythm so he stays tucked up back here, okay? So still trotting around, gonna push him out. Good, now I'm gonna square him up. You see how I can trade him back and forth between my hands and my feet right there? That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna push him out, right here, push him out, push him over. He's kind of scrambling across there, he's kind of going fast. So I'm gonna make sure that I stay in until he moves across with some good rhythm. So here he's kind of flinging his head around. He's trying to rush, and I can't have that, right? But you hear how hard this is for him, right? You guys can hear him grunt on there. This is a tough maneuver to do. So right here, push across, 1, 2. He's trying to fall behind his legs. You see this leg kind of drifting out back there. I want him to stay tucked up. Push across, then straight. Good. When I straighten out, you see me tap him with this leg right here to say, hey, keep stepping up right there. Keep stepping up with your back legs. Keep everything coming up. Keep all this rolling through, all right? So here we're gonna push him across again. See that nice slide down, real calm. You see where my horse gets a little bit nervous when I tighten down on him. So that's that head fling. You see those front feet get a little bit tight, a little tense. And I'm riding along here and I'm paying attention to the rhythm of his footfalls. It's not about your horse making the maneuver so much as how he makes the maneuver. If he's nervous or he's jarry and he's kind of hitting the ground hard, then it's not going to be the kind of maneuver we're looking for. I want him to be soft, stepping across there, rhythmic. I'm not going to turn loose until I get some softness. Then I can set him down, come back in. Good boy. Reach down, pet him. You see those ears go forward. You see that nose come out, a little lick and chew. That's what we're looking for, right? So I want my horse to go down into showable. I'm going to work him out of the showable range, set him down, and see if he'll maintain the showable range, all right? So we'll come back in. And this horse is a little bit stronger to the left than the right, so it doesn't surprise me at all that I have a little bit more problem off my outside leg going this way, okay? So I'm gonna take my circle, tighten it up. This is a really small circle, guys, right? Making sure these legs cross around, making sure he stays between my feet, making sure he's really soft and supple everywhere. Right here, set him down. Good. You see where like he kind of locks in position, right? The second I turn him loose, he snaps in. I really like having that ability to do that, okay? So that's my trot work, okay? So that's my warm-up. That's just a warm-up. Nothing special about lead changes right there other than getting control of my ribs and getting control of my body, okay? So when I start doing some lead change stuff, I want to tighten up on my reins and I want to work on my side pass right here. Okay, now a lot of work goes into a side pass. So I'm going to come in front of you guys and show you. When I go to do a side pass, very important to keep your eyes up and know where you're going, okay? So I want to stay as straight, head and tail as possible when I go to do changes. I don't want my hip leading the way, I don't want my shoulder leading the way, I don't want my middle of my body and I'm taking my neck out of position and I'm loping like this. That's not going to be a pretty change. Ideally in a Western riding class, you don't get to making big loops like this down your line, right? You want to cut across like this and stay as straight as possible. Go ahead.
On a tighter circle, what are you doing with your inside leg?
Just keeping him from falling in, okay? So I want to make sure that I can get his neck pretty far over and have him up on the inside. This shouldn't make him turn, right? So if I feel like I'm taking a hold of that rein and he's either heavy on this rein, then I'm going to push him out right here. Because if he's heavy on this rein, what he's doing is he's trying to fall in, okay? If he makes you want to go like this, because he keeps cutting into your circle, then you need more foot, right? So my inside leg is there to hold him up. I'm not circling with just one leg on, because all you're doing then is inviting your rib cage to fall one way or the other. Either it's going to fall to the inside like this, or it's going to fall to the outside like this, okay? So when you go to do a side pass, a lateral move, you're looking for 2-beat movement across there. The more connected the front end and the back end is, the more together your change is going to be. And that will determine where my correction comes from when I ask him to change. If I ask him for a lead change, and he quite simply doesn't change, I'm going to break him down and put him right here and just side pass. Just straight up side pass across there. See me pick his neck up, pick his shoulder up, and say, hey, get off my foot. Side pass over, okay? And that's going to be if he does nothing. So I'm going to be loping, I'm going to ask for a lateral move, and then I'm going to change. If he does nothing, that's what I'm going to do, is side pass him around. Now, if I ask him to change and he does something, but maybe he changes with his back end late, what it tells me is my horse is not connected front to back. And I'm either going to push his hip around with this maneuver right here and say, hey, give me your back end. Now this horse is rushing, right? So he's not giving me his hip, he's running from the maneuver. See him trotting? What am I looking for? I'm looking for nice, calm, quiet movement. So I'm gonna stay until he slows down. Good. Thinks his way through. That's I'd much rather have. And I'd load back up and I'd try again. Go ahead.
There's 2 questions.
Yep.
And can you show us how to teach a horse to cant at a walk, trot, lope for collection?
Yeah. That's what this is, right? So we're starting at hip over, we're starting at cant in our horse, right?
Is cant like the shape?
Yep, the shape.
Okay, sorry. And then Bonnie says, if you lose the 1-2 rhythm when tracking out, do you ask for more forward?
If I lose the 1-2, I'll probably just keep asking until I get it, right? I'm just not gonna turn loose. And a lot of horses are gonna lose that 1-2. It takes a long time to get that good rhythm across there. So you just have to do more of it so he learns where to put his feet. Remember, that's the biggest thing about this is we're not dictating to him where he's gotta put his feet. He knows where his feet are better than I do. But I just wanna make sure that I'm not gonna get out until I feel him do it in a way that's giving it to me and thinking his way through, right? So if I turn loose before he has to 1-2 across there, I'm teaching him that he can kind of just scramble around, right? Same thing when I went to push his hips around, I'm teaching him that he can just kind of scramble around, okay? So I can check all of my buttons, my circles at my jog, we're checking my ribs, checking my shoulders, that I can control my shoulders into the circle and control my ribs out, all right? So that's that walk in this circle or trotting this circle, whatever the case may be. Here I've got control of his right rib cage and his left shoulder, right? So right rib cage right here, left shoulder right here. So I can control his left shoulder up and around, and I can cross those legs over right here. Want to keep him moving though, because I don't want to plant his weight anywhere. So right here, cross those legs over, and then right here, push this rib cage out. Then I want to be able to push his hips around right here. So push my hips. You see how much more calmly he takes this now? Now he's going to start speeding up as he goes around. I want to make sure I stay in until he gives this to me. Gives my legs, moves with my motion. That's better. Much better. That's hip control, right? Now I have my hip on the inside right here and I walk straight ahead. Okay? So I'm coming right here. I'll push around again. So I'll walk towards Macy so you can see that. Right here. Push my hip around. Nice calm maneuver. Now this is worried, right? This is nervous. So I'm going to stay in. And I see him brace his jaw, right? You see him start chomping the bit. All those are nerves that I want to get out of there. There, now he's calm and collected and quiet. And I'll walk him back up to Macy right here, walking my front end square. Because I have right rib control right here, I can walk him up with his hip on the inside. Right, you guys can see that. Now I'll walk straight at Macy right here. You guys can see that hip on the right side. If I want more, I can ask for more. Right in there. But see, I don't lose my shoulders. My shoulders stay walking straight ahead. My ribs don't follow. I don't have to go this way to make his shoulders stay straight. And that's why this horse got in trouble. Do you see how right here, he's crossing this leg over? That is no good, right? If you're bringing his hand across here like this, and he's crossing that leg over, this is no good, guys. Look how he starts to stunt and stub this right toe, all right? Get him enough control on this right rib cage off your leg that you can keep his hand open right here. Look how I can ride this horse between my hands and my feet, everything traveling straight. You try this with your horses at home, most often you're gonna find they just do this, all right? Because they're relying on your hand to hold him up. If you're doing changes, you're not gonna have your hand there to hold him up, okay? So rib control, shoulder control, hip control. Wanna have all three so that when you go to do a side pass, your horse stays straight, okay? If I go to do my change and he falls out behind, he doesn't change behind, I'm gonna push his hip like that, okay? Just so when I'm in the heat of the moment, you'll know why I'm doing which correction I'm doing. If you see him change late behind, I'm gonna push his hips. If you see him change late up front, I'm gonna make him turn. If you see him not change at all, I'm gonna side pass, okay? If I go to ask for my change, he just misses it, I'll probably just keep loping and try again. Same thing for the correction for the two track, right? If he's not good cadence across there, I'll just keep trying, right? He's gonna figure that out on his own. I don't need to rush him. No amount of spurring him harder is gonna help him find more rhythm. He's just gotta do more of it, right? He's gotta practice that more until it's a natural move for him, okay? So that side pass has gotta be straight in front of you. It's got to be a together move. Got a question?
Yep. I started training and getting control with my mare's hips and shoulders, which she understood and she did quickly.
Yep.
But now she doesn't lift up her back and she just shuffles over so she can avoid the tough work. Yeah. She has now been really dull off my legs as well. So how do you gain that connection and drive from them again?
Yep. So what that means is, if you think about his belly, and you're going to see it on him too. If you think about his belly as that balloon, right? That's our favorite example. You got the balloon where you push one side and it bulges out. You push the other side and it bulges the other way. This is where you are right now. You put your leg on and everything just kind of bows out that way. And you're tracking flat across the arena, right? This is just moving across. This is, to me, this is going through the motions, right? Now the problem with that is, this leg is really far away, right? My outside leg is really far away. So I'm giving her room to leak over here, right? If I want this horse to round up and roll up to me, I gotta have this leg a lot closer to him right here, because now he's gotta sit on that spur. So when I side pass him across, you'll see him work a lot harder. See how he's trapped up between both legs? If I have this horse right here, then I switch legs, see him come cut back across real hard, switch legs, cut back across real hard. My neck came up a little bit, right here, come up, switch legs, cut across, right here, do a little zigzag, cut across, right here. Good, like that. Going back into the fence,
I know, I don't know where I'm going.
So push that horse across, right? Doing a zigzag around the arena, right? That's what I'm looking for. Usually if you have a horse that's real dull right there, your outside leg is not close enough. That's the most common problem that I see, okay? So that's my next point, was about the side passes. Make sure you're staying straight head to tail. If you're getting your side pass by bending him like this, you're gonna lead with your shoulder, like he's leading with his hip, right? Like I'm coming across here. I am not straight to where I wanna be going. I was headed up there. You see how I am in no way, shape, or form ready to do a lead change, all right? I'm facing up here. And that's what you have to keep in mind. You gotta keep everything straight. So when you go to do a lead change, keep everything square between your hands and your feet. I'm just pressing my right leg, but I'm sitting over on my left side, right? I got all my weight over on the left. This stirrup right here, all right? Don't get like this, because this ribs and lose his body. So that's where we're gonna run into trouble. Okay, so right here, don't roll your body like this, okay? So coming around, don't do this right here. Get square, keep everything straight, right in here, all right? That's what I'm looking for. So come across here, push around, push across, lateral move. This is what I want. I like how if I press my foot pretty hard, there's no forward in here, right? The harder I press my foot, the less forward he goes. I really like having that in my horse. I want to know that when I go, he's not going to leave. Yeah, question?
No.
Okay. So coming around here, that's what I'm looking for, okay? So I want to be able to press my foot pretty hard. Right here, press, press, press. Good. And set him down, okay? That's what I like to see. So when I go to teach changes, I don't necessarily want no forward. Right? So think about where I'm going. This is 100% forward. This is 0% forward. If I'm teaching to change leads, I want to be kind of somewhere like right up here. Somewhere in the middle of that, like 45 degrees. An even amount of forward and sideways. Okay? So 100% forward off my foot, 0% forward off my foot. Looking for somewhere right here. Right? Looking to make my next stride kind of carry me right up there. Okay? So that lateral move across there, I don't mind if he goes a little bit, whoa, too forward.
Little turbo boost.
So we're gonna come back here. I don't mind if he goes a little bit forward like this. You see how I'm tracking now at a 45 up and in here, right? This doesn't bother me a bit. I like seeing this, but I'm still straight head to tail, okay? Still straight head to tail. If I get my hip too far over like this, I'm too kinked up, I won't be able to change, okay? Way too kinked up, will not be able to change leads. So I come around. I'm showing you guys what I'm doing. This is my warm-up, right? This is part of my warm-up. So I'm coming here, gonna side pass him across, gonna add some forward in there, so I'm tapping my right foot. Tap my right foot, kind of clucking to him, adding some forward in. See, I got loose rein right here on this side, tight rein on my left side because I'm taking this left shoulder, picking it up, moving it over. Picking it up, moving it over. There, that's what I want to see, okay? So you see how I ended up 45 degrees across the arena? Very, very nice, okay? I'll come back around so Mason doesn't have to walk backwards. You guys see it from the back. So I'm just playing with this horse between my feet. Part of my warm-up, okay? Part of making sure all these buttons work before I go to change. So I'm gonna side pass him over. And you want to develop a good feel for where is straight. Okay, so I'm going to my left foot, and I know this horse pretty well. He's gonna try to lead with his hip. I don't want him to lead with his hip. Okay, so coming across here, the more I dig my left foot, the more his hip goes. He's working quite a bit, trying to get him to not move his hip across there. Mason, you want to silence that phone?
Yeah, I say.
Swipe down from the top and hit the silence.
Okay.
People texting me during my live video. Come on.
Come on.
One's vibrating and the other one's silent.
Okay, perfect.
Good? Alright.
Perfect, sorry guys.
Texting me during my live video.
No.
So coming around here, push him across, right here, lateral over, 45 degrees, really like it. I'm gonna get out, okay? I'm gonna let him walk on. I'm gonna press across again. Press across. I'm gonna let him walk out. Good, press across. And let him walk out. Perfect. All right, so we'll let Macy stand still, catch your breath a minute.
You guys are killing me.
She's working hard today.
Hasn't been this hot in forever.
Should've worn that long sleeve shirt today.
I'm melting.
All right, so I'm gonna take him up, I'm gonna lope him up, we'll get him loping around. Kind of play with him a little bit. Like that lope off, pretty nice. I want him rolling up to me, standing up. We're gonna put a little bit of wind under his wings, so watch that up and down in my seat, right? Up and down in the saddle, that's what a lope should do. Carry me up, pick me up, carry me through. Up in the saddle, pick me up, carry me through. Really like this lope right here. It's a good round, pushed up lope, okay? So don't let people tell you that pleasure horses are shut down, okay? We can send these horses out, pick their bodies up, send their legs through, and he's just athletic in his body. Okay, nothing about teaching a pleasure horse means you got to take them and put them where they're not athletic. Okay, so this lope right here is really important for you guys. Get your horses to where they stand up and they lope like this. Okay, to where you can kind of get his belly up, get his neck stand down in my hands. That's what I want to see. Okay, so now I'm going to take him on a little straightaway. I'm going to lateral across, kind of play with that button a little bit, see where I'm at. I'll come in front of Macy. So here's my straight line. Over. Good. I'm out. I'm going to come back around. Not even going to ask again. I'll come back around. Tight corner, checking my shoulder around the corner. Lateral over. See me close my right side, open my left a little bit. Good. Out. I'll counter canter this end. This is just prep work for my change. If I can't do this, can't change leads. Press, right side close, out, come around. Come straight at you, press. See how I'm staying straight in the saddle? Don't get over here when you press. Look how it messed him up. You see how now he's falling down over here? If I'm hanging off the outside, look how that messed all his legs up, okay? When you press across, go with him, right? If you don't go with him when you press across, you can't transfer his weight, right? So I'm right here loping around. I'm gonna sit square. He should stay square right here, keeping his weight on the outside where it belongs. But then when I go to lateral across, I'm gonna sit on the inside and help him out, right? So I'm right here, gonna sit on my left stirrup. That takes our weight off the left or right side, lets us lateral over. Okay? Come back around. Come at you. Sit on his left side, push him across. Good. That lets me follow with this leg. Lets me sit up there and follow his body around with this leg. Okay? So come around. He got a little flat on me around that corner right there. Keep his neck in the middle. Lateral over. Good. Good. Very good. There's my left side. I feel pretty confident with my left, right? I feel like that left lead's ready to change. So you guys see that up and over move that I can do out of my foot. All of that comes from my rib cage control right there. Getting this horse to where he'll come up and over when I put my foot on. So literally what's happening is I'm riding along, I put my spur on, he goes up and moves his body over, all right? What most of you guys are gonna be missing is this part, the up. A lot of you that have been following our videos most likely will have the over. You just don't have the up with it, which means when you go to change, your horse is gonna go that way. He might get the change, he's just gonna go fast afterwards, right? Or he'll go fast through the change. So we want our horse to come up and do something, up and do something. When you put your spurs on, and we did that leg video so you guys would be good with your feet, right? So you can be connected through your legs, so you can always get him up and move over, up and do something, up and do something, okay? And that's gonna make this so much easier. You could beat your horse up for a long time trying to teach him lead changes, but if you don't have this very basic control off your spurs, it's not the change where your problem is, right? If you put your leg on, your horse can't change evenly. It's not your change where the problem is, it's your legs, okay? Your basic control off your spurs is not what you need it to be. And you guys are gonna find that a lot, because if he doesn't do very basically what he should do off my feet, which is come up and make a move, that's gonna carry through all of my riding. That's my stop, that's my backup, that's my turnaround, that's my side pass, that's everything that you do. If he doesn't have that up off your feet, then you're probably going this way, all right? Or you're going backwards, which was even harder. Like that's what this horse used to do. You ever have one of those horses that call them spur stop, where you squeeze your feet real hard and they back up? So now we can squeeze our feet on this horse. I'm squeezing pretty hard. Now he starts to back up, right? I'm gonna stay squeezing and cluck and sit up on him there, because I don't want him to back up when I put my feet on. That's gonna be those stunty changes that you see, right? Where people squeeze their feet and their horse like shuts down through the change and then they change. Like maybe they rear back and change. I don't want to see that, right? That spur stop will get you in trouble when you go to do things with your horse. I want these to stay up and back on their own. He's got to hold his shoulders up on their own. This cannot get shut down by your feet. If your feet shut this down, you're going to have a really hard time getting your horse round. So the first thing we did with this horse was take off our spur to back up, right? First thing we do with every horse that comes to our farm is take off that spur to back up. Like everybody thought this was really important to have on your horse, where he won't even do it now. That's awesome. Good boy.
Good boy.
Where you squeeze your feet, you can leave your hand down and back up. We always thought that was earning us a lot of points in the show pen. And it just doesn't, right? It gets in the way of almost every other maneuver you're gonna do. So spur stop is bad. Spur lift is good. If you have spur lift, your horse will go slower, all right? So I'm gonna warm up my right lead, kind of see where that's at, and then we'll get Macy running again.
Oh boy.
So here, I'm gonna push him out to do my lope off, out, in, good. See how I kept my right leg close for my lope off. This right lead has traditionally been hard for him. This is pretty good right here. Still gets a little bit trappy in his nose. Still gotta trust our hands a little bit more going this way. So see where I keep this right lead a little bit more pushed up, right? I keep this right lead going a little bit faster because he has to right now, okay? So I'm on a big circle right now, kind of letting him warm up, kind of finding my rhythm, finding my pace for the ride. What pace am I gonna have to go? If you notice in my seat, I don't have nearly as much up and down action as I do the other way. I've got a lot more swoop in my saddle. You see me cover more ground front to back. This lope is traveling flat, okay? He's not rolling up to me nearly as hard this way as he was the other way, okay? So I want to get this horse to where he rolls up to me. So lateral, not bad. And this maneuver is going to help him, right? This maneuver is going to help him come up, put some wind under his wings, going to lateral over, got a little loss there, going to stay. Doesn't like it, so I got to do more of these so he gets comfortable. Come around, because he just wants to lead with his hip. Lateral over. Lost my shoulder, my ribs right there, going to stay. Good. Outside rein, stand my shoulders up, lean my weight back over his hips. Stay on the right side of my horse, lateral over. Keep everything square. Takes a lot of right leg right here, not letting this right shoulder and ribs leak around there. So like he'd love to dump down like that. He caught me talking. He'd love to fall over with his shoulders right over there when I counter canter. Okay? So right here, stand his left shoulder up, push across. Boy. Stand his left shoulder up, push around. Stand him up, push him over. I don't have quite the connected movement across there that I'd like to see. I can feel him fighting my hands. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's a better counter canter. He's staying up on my line. Might not make the corner. There we go. Coming around. Good. Better. Not even asking this line. Right? Got a nervous horse. Can't let him guess at what I'm doing. All right? If I got a nervous horse, I can't let him guess. So I'm going to go straight. You can stay there, Mason.
Okay.
I'm going to go straight. Push across.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
See how he stayed in? He gets to jumping around and guessing at what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep my leg on and say, hey, it doesn't go away till you get it right. So right here, doesn't go away till you get it right. Better. And you're going to have to ride some jumping around. Right? You're going to have to ride some bouncing around. That's better. See him settle in now?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to ask him to change unless he's settled in. Much better. See his neck hanging down now? Doesn't have that big nervous bow up there. Right? And his toes land a lot softer. I'll ask for my lateral. You see right away he wants to push his nose out and hollow his body this way. Right? You guys can see that nice tuck that I have loping around, tuck on both ends. And then when I go to push my leg, it comes undone. Right? That horse comes unwound on me. Can't have that when I go to my left foot. So I'm loping along, lateral over. Right there is my undone. Gotta stay on my feet. Gotta stay up in the middle. I don't need to change leads to know it's gonna be bad, right? My right to left change is not gonna be pretty because it doesn't set up well. He doesn't get it set up well for me. My initial ask, there's three parts to a lead change, right? There's the initial ask. Right there is better.
That's much better.
Take down. Good boy. Big reward for that. But see, I asked for it, he gave it to me, so I got out. I'll ask again. Good. There.
That's much better.
Much better. See how he doesn't come undone? He points his toe towards his chin. That's what I want. Ask. See him staying down? Way better. Way better. Come around. Ask. Lot better. Lot better. Let him catch his breath a minute. Very good. So remember, I got a nervous horse, so I can't rush him. Gotta take my time. Keep coming down. Keep doing different things. Keep asking the same way every time. When he gets nervous, I'm there to comfort him, right? I'm there to say, hey, I know that was hard. I know that was tough. Just keep working through it, right? I know you got worked up over that. You thought it was a big deal. Just work through it. It's going to be okay. I'm going to reward you when you get it right, okay? That right there is something, if that's as far as you get for your first day, that's perfectly acceptable, right? If that's as far as you could go, you say, you know what? My horse is pretty sweaty. It took me a long time to get into where he would lope around and be comfortable like that. Then just leave it alone for the day, right? Leave it alone for the week, okay? Come out here and just do that for a little while until your horse gets comfortable being pushed up and pushed out and he doesn't get nervous, okay? Any questions?
Nope.
So you want to get to where your horse is not nervous or worked up to do that. And that takes a little bit because if your horse is nervous to push up, then when you go to spur on him, he's going to be so worked up about the fact that he was pushed up, he can't think about what he's supposed to do off your feet. Right? So you got to get him to where he's comfortable there first. And if that takes you a month, you're in good shape, right? Don't worry about how long it takes as long as it goes right, okay? As long as, that's how you let your horse decide when he's ready. if you say, you know what, I've been doing these for a long time, you're still not comfortable, too bad, we're moving on. You're gonna have a mediocre change, right? You're gonna have every once in a while change. And the biggest thing for us with these show horses is I don't want these buttons to work every once in a while. I don't want these buttons to work 50% of the time. I don't want them to work 60% of the time. I want to feel like they're closer to 80, 90, 100% of the time, somewhere in that range, okay? Because for me, 50% of the time is terrifying to go show, right? And I'm sure Macy can tell you the same thing.
Yeah, very scary.
We don't show them if it's 50%, right? If I go to my foot like that and he's still coming up, he's not ready to do Western riding, right? He's not ready to come out here and do lead changes on a consistent basis and get them, okay? So I want him to stay relaxed and calm. So if I've done a little bit of workout like that and I've kind of got him nervous and worked through some stuff, this is your friend, right? Just chill and let him think about that. If your horse out there and he's a little bit edgy, he's a little bit nervous, just let him think about what you did. And then pick back up and take back off. And you might be surprised how much that changes your ride, okay? If you get out here and you get in a big old tear with one and they're not thinking and they're just reacting to everything, it's not gonna be pretty, all right? So I'm really happy with that left lead. I'm really happy with my right lead. My right lead still needs work, right? It's still not as consistent as my left, but I feel like that's pretty good. I could probably get a change.
My goodness, everyone wants to talk to us today. We're sorry, guys, so we got a phone call.
All right, so we're right here. We're gonna push him up, and we're gonna make sure that we have him stepping up for our leads. I'm gonna go left lead to right lead first, because I like the way, or no, I bet he changes better right to left. He's better off this leg moving that way.
I think he's better left to right. What do you guys think? I think he's
left to right or right to left.
I think he's gonna be better left to right, and Jerry thinks he's gonna be better right to left.
So here's what I can tell you: my setup is worse right to left.
Yeah.
But my ask is gonna be way better right to left because he's good off this leg moving this way.
What do you think, Mom? Left to right or right to left? You don't know?
We can take a little poll.
Left to left.
We can take a little poll on there and say.
All right, people are saying right to left.
Right to left.
Oh man, they're with you. You guys have no faith in. They don't have faith in me. Everyone is saying right to left. Okay. Well. Okay. I feel the love, guys.
Well, we'll go Macy's way first. So
Lynn, you can't even agree with me.
All right, we'll go left to right.
Even Bonnie can't agree with me. At least I have my mom.
You always have to be your mom.
It's my best friend.
Right. So we're gonna come around. You want to get sideways, Macy's taking profile?
Yep.
All right, I'll warm him back up. Right here.
Oh, I got left to right.
Lateral. Good. Out. I'm gonna come back around. This is my setup, right? So I'm gonna go lateral. 1, 2, 3. Straight. 2, 3. Change. 2, 3. Okay, that's gonna be our count. We're gonna come around. Oh, we're pushing on me a little bit. We're gonna go lateral. 2, 3. Straight. 2, 3. Change. 2, 3.
Okay. I think I won the bet.
Good boy. So big rewards for that. Big rewards.
Thank you, Kathy.
Good job, buddy.
Kathy's with me.
All right, so we're going to reward him for that. Let him know that was good. There's my lick and chew. That's what I want to see.
That was awesome.
That was good. So I kind of ran out of room. So you see where he had to kind of like jump across there? I waited just a little bit too long in the arena. And I think a lot of that surge that I had was because I was running out of room and he wasn't sure where to go. So that I'm going to put that one on me. And I'm going to say, all right, buddy, the next time I ask you to change, we're going to ask a little bit closer to the middle, right? So that way you don't feel like you're pinched up in a corner, okay? But do you see how we stayed really straight through that change? I don't want his body slinging around. And that's going to be a hard thing with this horse is getting the right amount of pressure with your left to right because like I'm pushing him over on this side, I'm loading the weight over here, and then when I ask for my change, I have to remember I have a lot of horse over there. So if I bring this leg in really hard, he's gonna be scared and jump across. And that's where a lot of my speed's gonna come through, a lot of my like pop up is gonna come from. So I gotta make sure I'm putting a lot of horse over here, and then I just kind of bring that in and ask for my change, all right? But remember the timing of my stride, okay? So when you guys go back and watch this back, over, 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 straight, straight, change. And it's all about when that legs are over here, when these legs go lift off the ground again, ask for that change to flow through your body. There's a lot of timing that goes into this. You got to know when the up and down of your stride is. All right? Don't ask for your stride when you're already up in the air. You'll have a heck of a time. You're going to make your horse leap. All right? He's going to jump around and he's going to be a mess. So you got to ask him his legs are on the ground so he can change into the next lead. Okay? So we'll go the other way. We'll go right to left and we'll see.
I still think I'm going to win.
Yeah. So we're going to take up a lope. Good. Ah, we're kind of falling over. We're a little frisky now. So, not going to change if we're nervous, right? Look at the difference between where I finished with my right lead and where I am right now. You see how he's a lot more bowed up in his neck, a lot more chargy with his legs. I got to get reconnected through my feet before I ask for a change. So we're going to practice this setup a little bit. We're going to lateral over. Good. Straight. Foot out. Let him practice. Lateral over. Good. Straight. Corner. He's leaning on me. Lateral over. Good. Straight. Good. So now he's relaxed. Much more calm right here. Good rhythm. Sitting on the ground a little harder. Lateral over. Little up. Can't do it. Can't change. Got to stay in. Got to correct that issue first. Got to stay in. There. Out. I wanted to do a change on that line. He told me he wasn't ready. So we're going to come here. Lateral over. 2, 3. Straight. 2, 3. Now he guessed. Can't change. That's the importance of the straight, okay? I took my leg away, and I felt him dive back over, so I couldn't change right there. Okay, it's the same deal. Lateral right, 2, 3, straight, 2, 3, good. Counter can around. See how I keep him guessing? I'm not going to do a change every line until he's pretty comfortable with the maneuver. So right here, lateral over, 2, 3, straight, 2, 3, change.
Woo!
Ugly. Lacey wins.
I win. Thank you, Kathy.
My backhand did not change.
Thank you, Sandy. See, you guys gotta stick to me.
My backhand didn't change, so I'm gonna push my hips around. Okay? Right here, push my hips around.
Lynn.
Speed these backhand up. Speed these back legs up. Keep this up with your body. Then take on my left lead again. Okay? So right here, now I'm back on my left lead. We're going to do the same thing. Lateral, 1, 2, 3, straight, 2, 3, change.
Oh.
Running. So what am I going to do? We're going to stay in as long as it takes to get on our foot. Do not take your foot away until he gets back down and calm. Right? Back down. There. Come back down to earth. Right here. Your way through. Right? Remember, this is not a big, scary move. And I want him to know we're not making big, scary moves. There. Now he's back down to earth. Back to work. Right there. So now he's going to be a little bit worked up. We're going to get some energy, high energy changes, right? That's okay. We're going to teach him. We're going both ways today. 2, 3, over, out, good.
This is how you're correcting him for like getting nervous and anticipating it?
What's that?
This is how you're kind of like practicing because he's kind of anticipating that you're going to do it?
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for...
Nervous through the changes, he gets nervous through a pattern, right? This horse tends to guess what I'm doing, so I just stay doing it, right? Keep that leg on until he gives me those legs calmly. He's got to stay calm. So I like how this right lead has been more relaxed now these last couple laps. So we're going to go back into it. Over, 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 lateral right, straight, out. Over, 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 lateral right, straight, out. Good. Up and around. Don't want this right shoulder to fall this time around my corner. Good. Pick my diagonal. Over, 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 straight, out. over, 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 straight, change. Good.
That wasn't bad.
Much better. Much better. We'll reward him for that. Good boy. And see how I just let him lope around, right? Not going to stop him after the change because we're going to keep going, right? Not going to let him just chill after that because we got more to do. I don't want it to be a big deal. Lateral, over, 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 out, counter canter. I don't just like regular lead around. We're going to add counter canters in. We're going to keep him guessing about where he's going. One more. Lateral, over, 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 straight, straight, straight. Change. Not bad. Not bad. Gonna do steady in here. Counter canter around. One more this way. Over, 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 straight. Over, over, over. Change. Not bad. Good. So what I felt through that one is he kind of dove through the change a little bit. Right? He kind of charged through it. Well, I know that's coming because you see how when I was coming around the corners, I tell you guys, oh, he's pulling on me right there. Sometimes I'd be loping those lines and he just ripped those reins out of my hands. We had to teach this horse how to push into our hands, right? He kind of had the same problem y'all are going to have where they hide their chin, right? So he likes to rip the reins out of my hands. I'm allowing that to happen. You see how I don't like get into him for that? Because I don't mind him pulling down through my hands. We can fix that later. I want him to know it's acceptable to reach for the bit. Okay? Question?
How do you correct anticipation?
Right there. Just do a lot of it, right? Fire drill him. Okay? So, like I was doing some changes, I had a lesson in mind where I'm like, I'm gonna work on some changes today. But when he starts to guess at it, you see I don't change, right? And that's the hardest part about horse training in general, is getting your repetition in without being predictable, right? So you start to get predictable, he's gonna guess at it. And you can't have that happen because he's not learning anything if he's guessing at it, all right? So I don't mind him being predictable in the sense that like he knows there's something's gonna happen, we're gonna change leads, or we could possibly change leads out of that. I'm gonna keep him walking, he's pretty hot.
Yep.
But I don't mind just not changing, all right? And that's the biggest thing is like saying to yourself, okay, if we didn't change at all today, I'm still making progress towards a horse that listens to me, right? If we go out here and we don't change at all, I'm still making some progress towards getting my horse to pay more attention to me, so I'm still winning, right? I'm still gonna be better off in the show pen than I was, all right? So keep that in mind. Just because you didn't change doesn't mean you're not doing change work, right? Just because you don't change leads that day doesn't mean that you're not working on your lead changes, as long as you're working on your setup and your straight line afterwards, right? A lot of the time I see people get in trouble because they might set their horse up and not have the straight afterwards, all right? So all of my changes were over, straight, change, all right? Because that's how it's gonna go in the class too, all right? He's gonna swap leads, travel, swap back, travel, swap back. So I can't have him like, okay, we're gonna lateral over and then boom, we're gonna change and then boom, we're gonna change. Look how nervous he gets, right? He's gonna be very scared of that, okay? So make sure you take your time, be able to push over and then nothing, all right? If you come out here and you push over and every time you push over, you're asking for a lead change, then you're not listening to what he's telling you, right? This is not a two-way street for the both of you. He's telling you, I'm nervous about this, what's gonna happen next? And you're going, I don't care, all right? I don't let him dictate the lesson except for when he tells me I'm nervous. That's about the only thing I listen to. I'm nervous, I'm not sure, all right? Because that tells me to slow down. Both of those things tell me to just back up a little bit, take my time, okay? And I know like we made this fun little bet that we were gonna change these both ways, but if we didn't get it today, that's okay, right? That would have been just fine. We've been like, all right, well, it'll probably be good tomorrow, or it'll probably be good next week, and that's perfectly fine. It didn't have to change today. We just felt like we were probably ready, right? So that's what we want to do. And you see, like I missed it. I missed my change, and it wasn't stop and slam him backwards and shut it down. It was, why did I miss my change? What didn't change? And how do I fix that? All right? And the best way to do that if you're at home is to have someone sitting on the bench that knows the front end and the back end, right? Or have a video camera set up when you go change, and change in front of the camera and say, okay, what did I feel versus what did it look like? All right? That's how I taught myself how to do this. The only thing you're gonna have to know as a rider is how to be connected through your legs very calmly, very smoothly, and how to keep your horse's body straight, all right? Knowing the difference between a back end change and a front end change is gonna be big for you guys, all right? Having that 1-2 rhythm across there. So the only problem that I see with this horse is he gets a little bit nervous, so that's gonna take time and repetition to work through that. I understand why he's nervous. He got rushed in the past, so we're not gonna rush him. We're gonna let him take his time and learn these right. He might always be a nervous horse, right? But remember, most of the time, a horse's nerves are directly related to his level of confidence. If he's not confident what he's doing, he's gonna be nervous, all right? By the same token, horses that like run away on you are usually pretty confident, all right? So if I have a horse that's super confident, just ignores me, then I gotta do some stuff to make that horse less confident, right? I gotta make sure he doesn't know where he's going next, okay? But I have a horse like this, I have to be very deliberate about where he's going next. He's gotta know that I'm gonna be there for him if he messes up, all right? And that was the biggest thing about those corrections that you saw, where he took off on me once and he missed his change behind on me once. When he took off, I just stayed in with this foot and I said, hey, you're not gonna run away from this leg, right? If you're gonna run from that leg, it's gonna stay in until you stop running, right? Until you slow these legs down, so you slow this rhythm down. Think your way through like this. Then that leg goes away, all right? So if it means you gotta stop, back up, slow way back, go back a couple grades and say, whoa, I got a big problem with my hips. They're either not moving at all and my horse does nothing, or they're running. Either way, you gotta go back to your hips and say, okay, let's make sure these move 1-to-1 time, right? Let's make sure these move in time with my foot. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 across there when I put my spur on. Not just scrambling around 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, stepping on yourself and hitting your feet together and really struggling, all right? The other piece that is, when I'm doing my hip stuff, see how I don't make it a turn on the forehand, right? I'm not dictating that his front feet stay in one spot. And I don't mind them running at all, right? If they're moving around a little bit, that doesn't bother me at all. Because I don't want him just planting his weight up front, because that's gonna be just as bad. If he plants his weight up front, I gotta go back to my rib control right here and say, get your weight off your right front leg, right? Get your weight off that right front, come around, all right? So think of your lead changes simply as transferring your weight left to right, moving your diagonal pair from this side to this side. That's what you have to think of it as. You gotta unload this side, load this leg, so he can stand on it to do the change. Remember we were talking the other day about our weight distribution of our horse. When I'm loading on my right lead, I want him 70% on the outside, 30% on the inside. So when I go to set him up for a change, what I'm literally asking in that first lateral is, take from 70-30, make it more like 50-50, so that I can change onto 70-30 over here, right? If you go from just 70-30 like this, or maybe 50-50 to begin with, when you go to change like this, you're gonna end up dumped over on this side and you're gonna miss your change, all right? He's not gonna be able to come up and make that move. So remember, you gotta go up, through, send it, all right? It's up, up, up. Your lope's gotta come up. If you're not getting the up, then he's not gonna be able to change behind because his big old belly is getting in the way of his legs, right? So if you can imagine, his ribs are hanging down under here, that leg's trying to swing forward and it just smashes into his rib cage, right? You get his belly up out of the way, those legs can send and you can get that pointed toe that everyone's looking for in their changes, all right? So we did a lot of these changes on Enzo too. We kind of did a video series on his changes continually through the process of teaching.
We'll have to put them on, like maybe tomorrow or something.
Yeah, they're on our Patreon page.
Oh yeah, those. Yep,
they're up on Patreon. So we did that whole series on there. And the same thing, right? Taking a horse that had a decent foundation that we're gonna push him around and do things with him. And just it's just the next step, right? It's just the next logical step. It doesn't have to be this big, huge thing, right? If your horse is just basic broke, right? That's all that is, just basic broke. Then you should be able to change leads just by adding a leg and a voice command, right? So we'll take some questions. You guys want to write some up while we grab some off Instagram, and we'll answer questions for a little bit here. Time is it?
I don't know.
6:10. So we've been on for about an hour. We'll answer questions for 30 minutes or so, and we'll kind of see where we're at. right?
Okay, I'll walk you guys over to my mother real quick. If you guys have questions, just type them up and we'll answer them. I'm gonna flip this around then. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna hold that right there. I'm gonna get the phone real quick.
So I started adding lead changes in as like one of the fundamental things of my program, right? It didn't have to be like we were changing leads. Let me move this up a little bit. All right. So it didn't have to be something like, oh, it's too far.
Do I walk him a little bit? Is he a little hot?
No, he's all right.
Okay.
All right. So it's pretty bright out here. I'm gonna take my sunglasses off.
I know, it's really bright.
Thanks so much. You're very welcome, guys. Awesome. You're welcome, Carol. So yeah, so getting these horses to where it doesn't have to be this big, huge, dramatic thing to change leads. You can just change.
Right.
Right. It can just add it in as part of your regular thing. Doesn't have to be a big, scary move. Doesn't have to be a big, like, dramatic thing.
Right.
And I see that a lot. Like, people are like, oh, the lead change is scary, right?
Yeah.
The only scary thing about it is sometimes your horse is going to do some leaving.
Right.
And you just got to stay connected to your leg. If my leg were to drop off when he went to leaving, then I'm teaching him to leave. So I had to make sure that I kept my legs glued up into him. Right? He can't be leaving when I'm going to put my spur on.
Do you teach a spur stop?
I don't teach a spur stop.
My
right?
show horse is 5 and super lazy. Any ways to get him not so dull?
Not so dull is going to be, we talked about that yesterday. Everybody's got that problem, right? Talked about that yesterday. Your horse is only going to be as light as your initial ask, okay? So when you first come in, if I go to push Macy over and I come on like this and I stay on until she moves, then I'm going to take it away. Right?
I was like, why are you moving?
Yep.
That was me.
So then the next time I come in right here, she's going to be really light, right? And she's going to move away and I'll reward her for that.
Thank
right?
you.
Right? So pretty.
Nice.
So that's what I want, right?
Nice.
If I were to come in and I don't have a lot of leg control and I come on and I just jam that spur in, that horse is only going to be as light as I first come in.
Right.
Right? So keep that in mind when you're riding. You've got to be light when you first ask. As long as you're light when you ask and your horse is light when you finish, you will make him lighter. It's not about just like coming out of nowhere, just jabbing him. That's not going to make him light. It's going to make him bracy, in fact. Right? Because if you think about, come back over here, Macy.
Yep. We'll come back.
Okay, so this is my horse, right? I'm riding my horse right here. If I want to be light, I'm going to come in. I'm going to keep my calves really close so she knows I'm there. Here's my spurs. I'm going to wrap it in and press. She comes off of it, I take it away. Wrap this in and press. She comes off of it, I take it away. The reason why we talked about using your legs effectively and staying connected through your calves is because if she's riding along and I go to move her over and she doesn't know where it's coming from, right? What's she gonna do? She's gonna be flinchy, and tight and bracy, right? She's gonna be scared. So that will make her more dull. If she doesn't know where it's coming from, and I'm just like, look how tight she is, right? So there's no warning there. Make sure you come in soft, come in smooth, and then ask. And that's why I stress, it's not about the stride you're on, it's the stride you're going to.
Right.
Right? I want to train for the next stride, not the stride that I'm on. If I'm worried about the stride I'm on, and I'm getting aggressive because the stride I'm on didn't feel good,
Right.
I'm late, and he's not going to learn anything.
No.
All right?
All right, we got to scroll
Macy's
up a little
show ready.
bit.
She's tight.
I am.
Tuned up. All right, Dubs.
Okay, here. Dobbs wants grass now.
All right. When asking for a backup, what do? Your legs, feet, and hands. So when I ask for a backup, remember, we take it way back. The very basic thing I want to do is just pull, right? When I pull this way, this is bringing me your shoulders. Plain and simple. Legs can be out here. Legs can be way out away from your horse. You could be star
It's kind
fishing.
of like the 4-H backup.
Yep, the old 4-H backup, just like this, right? You could be feet out in different zip codes as long as when you pull this way, you get his shoulders moving.
Right.
That's it, all right? We will make that fancy as he goes, but what I'm really looking for is in the beginning when I pull and I take my reins and I close my reins up on him, that he brings his shoulders back to me, all right? He can't be taking his shoulders and leaning when I pull this way. And that's what gives me the ability to come out here and do that lateral move, right? Because when I was lateraling over, I'm riding like this, and I go to push across onto this stirrup. So I'm bringing my arm, my leg in, so I'm bringing this shoulder, standing it up so that this leg can sling out, right? So I'm putting his weight over there, and then I close my hands, switch my feet, and everything. This shoulder's got to come back to me, and this one's going to open up. All right, go ahead.
What's the best way to get a horse who does the simple change to do a fly and lead change?
Speed him up. Speed him up. Push him out. All right. The biggest thing that I see with a simple change is a lack of drive. It's a lack of impulsion, right? So if he doesn't have a lot of drive, he's not moving up, then you didn't have good cadence to start with, and he's going to be able to drop into a change. That's really what that is.
Like come up and down in your lope and be able to feel that. Yep.
Lope this way. Yep, bingo. Not this way.
Not this way.
You're loping this way. You got a big old problem up there, right? So having that horse, it's the difference between an up change and a down change. Truly.
Because I feel like, isn't a simply change like a down?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's a down transition,
like
right?
You're loping and then you're down, then you're back up again.
Yeah. So when I'm doing that transition, I'm asking on the up. So I'm asking for up changes, not down changes. All right. So it's just the difference in the timing of your ask, right? And a horse that stays elevated when you ask with your feet. All right.
Okay. I can't. The sun's so bright.
It's really bright today. Yeah.
Yeah. This one.
Teaching an old horse new tricks. Years of being heavy on the forehand. What's the best way to start teaching rear end engagement? Move him up, push him up. So this horse is like, what is he, 8, 12?
No, he's 12.
He's old. He's an old man.
I love him so much. He's so quiet.
Yeah, he's an old man. So this is exactly right. Old horse, new tricks. He came to us really heavy on the forehand, right? He came to us just pulling himself along.
A before and after of him.
You wouldn't believe it, right?
No.
So he came to us like forebeating along, pulling himself, not using his back end at all. And now you see how we've got him engaged. And it was 2 months, 60 days of running.
It was.
Like 60 days of pushing him up, going places. And the owners were like, this is not going. This is not a good thing,
We're
right?
running.
And we've ruined our horse, right? Our horse used to be able to show and kind of go along, and now he looks like he's just an orangutan.
He's a really nice horse, though.
Yep, super talented horse. And we know we're going to be okay pushing one up. And I see a lot of people get nervous about pushing one out because they're like, oh, it's never going to go slow.
Well, it's a little nerve-wracking because you're like, oh, it's running.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Like, why do I have to run my horse?
Yep.
You know?
But we had the luxury of getting him at a great time, right? We got him in November.
Yeah,
so
that was really nice.
Having the time before the show season that should have happened, right? That we could push him up. So you guys have time now, if you're able to ride, that you could get your horses pushed up and they're not going to be like, oh no, we got a show next week. Like I wouldn't teach lead changes in the middle of show season at all.
Okay, where do we leave off?
Ditch the spur stop. Yes.
Oh, right
ditch
here.
the spur stop. So use the word whoa. When you stop, right, it's a down transition. Okay, so when we go to our feet, we make lift.
We actually have a really good video of this.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So when we go to our spurs, we make lift. So when we sit down and we drop our feet out and stop our seat from coming up, our horse should go down gears.
Like you should always be like riding the lope.
Yeah.
Like we always say, like lift, rub, roll.
Yep. Yep. And the big thing that you have to remember is that up transitions, right? So walk to trot, trot to lope are up transitions. Those are more collected, all right? So a lope is more collected than a jog is more collected than a walk. So if I want to go up gears, I have to pick his body up further.
Right.
If I want to go down gears, I can drop his body down, all right? So when you want to stop, it's just, whoa, sit down, okay? Because you should be elevated, you're loping up. So you, instead of coming up on the next stride, you just whoa and don't come up.
It just goes down.
And just sit down.
Transition.
Yep. Because then what that gives you the ability to do is when you go to back up, if you have very basic take a hold of your shoulders, when you bring your spurs in, now it's back up with your back up.
You gotta back up with your back up.
Back up with your back up, right? Which is different than just move backwards,
right?
All right? So when you ever see a horse like backing and dragging his feet versus propelling himself backwards with a good 1-2 rhythm, it's a big difference, right? When you back up and you back up round, that's a much better transition, all right? Much better maneuver, all right?
Okay. How about this one?
Mare's coming 7. She's always been a late bloomer, so I've given her a lot of time to grow up, but I'm finally pushing and asking for more when she shuts down and panics. Instead of getting more from her now that I'm pushing, she's giving me lessons more. Yeah, so you're gonna go through that, right? We did the same thing with him. It's hard, right? It's like going through boot camp. So, and that's part of being a good coach, really, when you work with these horses. Part of being a good coach is knowing how hard you can push your student.
Right.
Okay, so whenever I get new clients in, like, I'm gonna handle them with kid gloves, right? Whenever I get new horses in, I'm gonna handle them with kid gloves. I'm gonna say, hey, like that, okay, that's not what we were looking for, right? Not exactly what we want. Here's what we want to do. Slow it down, show them how to do it. Versus if it's Macy helping me, what do you say to me? How's this?
You need to shut it down.
How's this look?
Disgusting.
It's disgusting, right? So our Canada friends can tell you, it's disgusting, right? So she doesn't sugarcoat it at all because she knows that I'm at a level where I can handle that kind of criticism. So it's the same thing with your horse. You have to remember where they're coming from. So this horse was the same way. He's an older horse, right? He's an older horse that thought he knew what he was supposed to do. So he was really confident what he's doing, and the whole time I'm telling him, you're doing it wrong. What's he gonna do? He's gonna get mad, right? He's gonna get upset. He's gonna get frustrated. He's gonna say, no, that's wrong. You're wrong. I've been doing this for 10 years. I know what I'm doing. So I gotta remember with him, you know, I'm gonna have some friction there until he understands what I'm trying to get. Right? So kind of building that horse up gradually and slowly, and that truly getting their mind right to where you can push on them and ask a lot is the longest piece. All right.
Yep.
Teaching your horse to change leads, like we did that in 45 minutes, right? With a good foundation. We can teach them all the buttons really quick.
We taught Enzo really fast too.
Yep.
But we had Enzo from like the start.
But get their mind right? Right here is what takes so long. Right there, and building the muscle. Building the muscle and getting their mind right. And if you don't have either of those two things,
it's hard.
A lot of things aren't going to go right, right? You could ask perfectly, and if you don't have their mind right and you don't have them muscled up, it's not going to work.
That's what I ran into with Peanut. Like, she was all fit up.
Yep.
I mean, she had a great foundation, but her mind just wasn't in it.
Yeah.
That's why we just kicked her out for like months. We
Yeah.
were like, you know what? You need to grow up. You gotta mature a little bit. And now she's doing awesome.
Yeah, now she's much better minded. She's still tough, but she's not like distracted and tough. All right, so she's still a mare and she's still a Batman, so she's still a little gritty.
Fiery.
But it's not that plus distracted.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of young horse stuff, right? She just had to grow up mentally.
He's
the itchiest horse in the world.
Look at, ooh.
All right, we'll answer some more. Canada representing exactly. Disgusting. I don't hate it. That's right. Shut it down. For training a horse for over fence classes, would you recommend a hunt headset or more natural? So I don't do a lot of over fence stuff, but
he
I
won't
think
let me. I'd love to jump.
keep the rubber on the road.
I'm like, just let me try, please. He's
We're gonna
like,
keep the
no.
wheels on the ground.
No.
So I don't do a lot of fence stuff.
So
but
teach me.
what I would want to see is I'd want to see a more up headset, right? And it kind of depends on the style of your horse. So you get those kind of real fine boned hunters. I like to see those up, right?
Yep.
I like to see those little scopy neck, a little hook to them up here. That's a really pretty look for a little bit more narrow made horse whose neck looks a little bit more thoroughbredy. If you got one of those big old body quarter horses, lay their neck out flat. All right, and that's probably gonna be the same thing for an eck class, because you get that dichotomy of horses, right, where you have some horses are hunter horses and some horses are fence horses in an eck class. So if I have a fence horse in an eck class, I don't mind seeing him be up in the bridle and be a little bit like Araby.
Yep.
And I've seen really pretty eck patterns with that Araby look.
Yeah.
But
really
it takes a certain type of horse
especially
to pull
like
that
in
off.
a big hand gallop, it's beautiful.
Like, I don't want to see this horse with his neck up.
No.
He's big bodied, he's deep hearted, he's thick necked. He needs to be round, right?
Yeah.
He needs to be down and round, carrying a bridle down here, because he's not made to be a fence horse.
No.
So I don't want to see him over a jump. But if I had a horse that was a little bit more thoroughbredy, that was a little bit jumpery, then I'd want to see that one up in the bridle.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Perfect. Drafty legs by Coats and Tails. Yeah, drafty legs by Coats and Tails. So yeah, if you got big old thick legs, you kind of have, like, I might play with it. And I might pick that head up and see what that looks like, and I might drop it down and see what that looks like. And not only what it looks like, but where does that horse like to be? Right? Remember where your neck is tied in. If it ties in back by her withers and ties in real high up here, then you got to carry it up. But if it ties in low like his does, then you should be fine. All right? And I've had horses that are both ways. The Charlie horse that I was on, his neck is tied in a little higher. Yep, his neck is tied in a little higher. So he's going to have a harder time carrying his neck down lower. And it's just form to function. When you drop that horse's neck down, something's going to give.
Right.
You're going to sacrifice something else. All right? So that horse won't be as pretty with his neck down as one that's made to have his neck down a little bit further, because that horse didn't have to give up anything to get there.
No.
And that's something to remember for all you guys' horses. Starting with a good horse is huge, right? Starting with a talented horse is massive.
Yep.
But it's form to function. So knowing what a good form is for whatever class you're trying to do, right? What conformation, what build is good for what you're trying to do. And that's probably something we'll do in a live video, is break down how I look at horses and what I like to know. Is this a good buy? Is this a good horse or not? Because that's huge.
Yeah, if any of you guys know, like, is it a skeleton drawer?
Oh yeah, so I thought it would be cool, and maybe you guys can help me out. We can crowdsource this.
Yeah.
Is I want someone who's like a horse anatomy specialist who specializes in painting, because I want to paint a horse skeleton on the horse and then do a live video and move it around.
That'd be really cool. You can like see like this moves this part and this moves this part of the body, and
We'll take Peanut and we'll draw some bones on there, and we can maybe make that a cool
That'd be kind of fun.
Be a fun video.
We see.
Yep. So we'll see. Who knows? I got big dreams. How do you deal with the horse who wants to think ahead and wants to change before you get to the full ass? So that's what I was doing, right? Don't change. Don't change. My changes are 3 parts, right? 3-step changes. So I'm here, straight, lateral for phase 1, straight, lateral for phase 2, straight, and then lateral for switch back for phase 3. Let me try that again.
Yeah, that was really confusing. I'm trying to find. You need to shut that down.
Let me shut that down. Let me hold that thought. Let me try that again.
That was disgusting.
So we're gonna go a 3-phase change, right? That's hard to say. 3-phase change. So phase 1.
I'm kind of confused. Like, what do you mean by phase?
3 steps to our changes.
Okay.
Right.
Let's do steps.
Steps. So step 1,
Phases are confusing.
you're loping. Step 1, lateral over. Step 2, go straight. Step 3, change. If your horse goes wrong in any one of those steps, shut it down, right? Address that issue right there. Because you got to go slow enough that your horse isn't going to guess at it. You'll find that he guesses at one of those phases, all right? It's
Steps.
usually good steps.
We don't like phases.
One of those steps of the process he's gonna get nervous at. And it's your job to find out which one, all right? So whichever one he gets nervous at, stay there. So if it's the actual change, then I might go back to my side pass and make sure he's calm and relaxed through my side pass. And I might really make sure that he's good off my feet in general, because if he's rushing the actual change, I'm either asking too hard or he's too light in his side.
So how do you fix a horse who's rushy in their, like, when they change?
That's what I just said. If it's the actual last step, if it's step 3 of the change, then I might go back and make sure he's just good off my feet overall.
Okay, yeah.
Or make sure that I'm sitting balanced so that I'm not leaning way off like this and then I crash into him, because I might be asking too hard. And some horses are just super sensitive. If I have a really sensitive horse to a kiss, I might not kiss through the change.
Right.
I might add some other word, banana.
Do you kiss through a change?
I kiss for most horses. Yep. So I'm setting up, straight, change.
So little.
Yep.
Big one.
And there's a difference, right? He knows the difference between those kisses. If my kiss is long, it should be a drawn out maneuver. All right? So my kiss to lope off, for example, I'm gonna get some water, sounds a lot like, right?
Beautiful.
So it's rock back, lope, 1, 2, 3, right? So rock back, that draw,
I can't.
that's that horse picking up to me, and then lope off, 1, 2, 3. And that's how I kiss every horse lope off. Go ahead.
How do you get your horse straight?
For the change?
This Karen was lazy.
Oh, how do you get him straight?
Is it just for like loping and walking and jogging, or is it for like a fine lead change? I guess you can break down both.
Yeah. So for the change, getting him straight, most horses that I see are...
It's kind of what you're doing today, like getting him square on your feet.
Yeah,
like
square on your
taking
feet.
This way, taking it this way, and get his rib cage up.
Making sure that you don't have one leg way away from him is huge.
Yeah.
Because if he gets over canted, I want him to be running into a leg over there. Right? So if I'm pushing him lateral and he's doing this, leading with his hip over, going this way, I want to make sure I have a leg on this side holding him straight, so I can push him across to that leg.
Yeah. Okay.
Because otherwise he's going to get his body crooked. All right? So it's either going to be sliding my outside leg forward or keeping my inside leg back. Everything, yeah. Over canting is huge. And this horse was really over canted to the right.
And you guys can see that on the video.
You can see the difference in the way he moves to the left versus the right. To the left, he lays his toes out there real pretty.
Yeah, he's really pretty.
And to the right, because he's over canted, he's over here like this, he's way over.
His hip way over.
He's going to be stunting this leg. He's not going to reach out there real pretty because it's literally traveling sideways. Right? His legs are getting in the way. Yeah. So we're having a hard time straightening him out. So it's a process of keeping my inside leg closer, making sure my outside leg doesn't mean go over so far.
Right.
And that fix is either going to be toning down my outside leg, or I might grab him and spin him the opposite way and lope back off on that same lead.
You do that a lot.
I do that sometimes.
That's kind of how I help with Peanut too.
Yep. So remember, we've got that push and catch, right? So normally we're using that to teach our horse to be good off our outside leg. I might push that hip around, catch it, and lope off on my left lead, right? So I'll push this hip. Let me step back so you can see. I'll pull his head this way, push his hip this way, and then lope off on my left lead because I'm making that back end stay underneath of me, right? So I push it around, hip under me, catch it, lope off left lead, right? If I have one that's over canted, like most of my horses are to the right, they're way over here like this, I might be loping right lead, push this out of midair, push this around, and then lope off right lead again with this hip a little bit more in line, if that makes sense. All right?
We can do a video on it.
Yep, so we can use that kind of in reverse to untrain a hip around just as easy as we can train a hip around to go in the first place. Yep. Do we have questions on Instagram?
Yes, we do.
Answer some of those.
What do you look for in young horses?
Young horses. For a young pleasure horse, I want lift in their shoulders. Lift in their shoulders, right?
Kind of like a rocks up and back.
Something that comes up and back, right? They gotta wanna stay up in their shoulders because that's the one thing I can't do for them, right? I can't beg these horses to hold their shoulders up. That's on him. He's gotta hold them up himself. So if I have a horse that does that naturally, that's awesome, right? And then the other thing would probably be cadence. They gotta have good cadence, right? Good cadence, good rhythm. If they've got a good 3-beat lope, a good 2-beat jog, we can work with that, right? I want talent. I want form and talent. Okay?
And then horse hates consistent legs, spurt pressure, happier being asked and released. Any advice?
Horse doesn't like your leg, doesn't want to ride with your spur. So that's one we did a lot of stuff on. Even today, this one doesn't want to ride with my foot, right? So same thing, coming around, making sure he sits on my leg. That leg does not go away until he sits on that leg, right? If I go like this and he rushes away from it, that leg's just gonna follow him around until he comes with me. Just follow until he slows down. And then I say, hey, thank you. All right? It's on line there. There you go.
And then, okay, how to tell if your horse is engaging the lower neck, picking up his shoulder/belly?
Video him, right? Video him, send it in. I've gotten to where I can tell pretty well what piece is going wrong on the ground from years and years and years of studying video, right? So we take all these video, I go back and I watch all of them to analyze my horses, figure out what's going wrong, right? So send us a video.
Yeah, you can send us a video.
Absolutely, send us a video. We can take a look at it. But other than that, try something, right? Try a maneuver. Set your hand down and try something. So a lot of people are scared to just put it down, put your foot on, see what happens, right? If your leg doesn't want to, like if you put your outside leg on your hip with your hand down and your shoulders run away and you're running down a rail, you don't have any hip control, right? You don't have any stand up and back in your shoulders, you don't have any hip control. A good horse is going to come up to you when you bring your leg in without too much push forward, right?
And then, do you do any routine maintenance on your horses? Chiro, microwave?
I have not gotten to where I'm microwaving horses yet, but
this is embarrassing.
Magnawave. Yeah. So for me, it's hard today. It's the sun's cooking us today.
It is. I'm like, I don't have any spit in my mouth. I'm like dehydrated.
Yeah. So I don't, and I'll probably make a lot of people upset. I don't do a lot of chiropractic work.
He doesn't believe it because why don't you believe it?
I've never seen chiropractic work that made a problem better that wouldn't be better by injecting it.
I told him he has to go to a chiropractor, and then you should try it.
They're gonna snap my neck. And then I won't be able to do videos because I'll just be crooked the whole time because they won't be able to put me back.
He's nervous.
But no, so I think for me, what I would do is I would make sure it's first not a training issue.
Yeah.
All right. So if I see it's not a training issue, like I'm working through and I'm working on something for a long time and I've been doing it and they're still not getting it, or I start to see them like stunt their back ends or drop leads behind, I'm gonna rule out a training issue. Then I'm gonna rule out a soundness issue with injections or x-rays to see if there's like a spur in there or hook or arthritis.
Yep.
And I'm gonna inject it. If I didn't fix it with those things, I would probably chiropract it. But I see a lot of people go in reverse order. They'll Magnawave it, chiropract it, then look at x-rays, then inject it. And I just think you're not fixing the problem, right?
Okay.
I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Most horses that are like, oh, it needs to be chiropractic, I'm like, well, it could stand to have its hocks done too. Like it probably wouldn't have to have it be chiropractic. If
I agree with you. I agree.
Ah, perfect.
And then good exercises for the horse's back muscles.
For the back muscles. So that was going to be one we were going to do a video on.
Yeah, we're going to do a video on this one.
We're going to do that one. So this is ground exercises that we do for horses that maybe like him that didn't pick their backs up in the beginning, that didn't know what that was. We will do a live video on that, some ground exercises, because that's big. Yeah. Yep.
And then how's Sharky doing? She's good.
She's good. You guys saw her Instagram. Sharky's doing awesome.
I gave her a bath today.
She liked it. She liked it. She got to go back outside and play in the sun. She hated that. She stayed under the shade.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the outside.
No, she's a Princess.
She is a princess.
It's been good for her to like go outside and like be like, this is what normal horses do, Marley. Like you're not always a princess.
Be a normal horse. You don't have to be pampered every day. Yeah.
And then you guys should do a video on how you guys got into horses and how you guys came up with the video idea.
That'd be fun.
We can just do like.
That'd be really fun.
When we're eating dinner, we can go live sometime.
We'll do a little Ask Us
it.
Anything about life stuff. You guys can
Ask
get to know us personally.
us.
Yeah, you can get to know us personally. We can get our story out there a little bit.
Yes.
I sent a video or sent to Finley, so give me drills to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that we do on our Patreon site, right? We've got the tiers of membership. The $10 a month tier gets you access to like half of the videos.
Yep.
And then the $25 a month gets you all of the videos, and it gets you a video lesson every month, which not enough people have taken advantage of.
No.
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, we love it.
Where are your videos?
Yeah.
We want to see your stuff, guys. We want to see what you're working on. We're gonna help you out. We're not gonna. Don't worry about whether it looks bad.
I'm scared of you.
I look. Did you see me running? Did you see me running? I've done lots of leaping around on lots of horses out here. Don't be afraid.
I'll post some bloopers.
Don't be afraid, right? We're all gonna make mistakes, and it's by making mistakes so you get better. So don't be afraid to come out here and mess up, right? You should see the lessons that I give Macy on Peanut.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about this. Because we do a lot of running sometimes.
That's your fault.
Our bodies don't work sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. So, what else we got? Have both legs closed so he follows through. Yeah, make sure you keep both legs closed, Karen, so you can't just run away.
We need a bath. He's stinky.
Get your horse straight. This is great. Is that it? Is that all we got?
I think so. If we missed your question, we'll go back through and
the round pen peanut video. Yeah, exactly.
You know, I should really post that. Bonnie,
See
you're
the video
our
of
top
Peanut
fan.
Bonnie, top fan.
I know.
Look at that badge. That's the first top fan badge I've seen. Way to go. Kudos to Bonnie. That's going to be some swag right there.
It is.
That'll get you some swag.
You're going to get some merchandise.
Awesome. So, we're still after that 1,000 subscriber goal.
Yeah, and what day is it today? What's the day?
It's day 47,000 of quarantine. I don't know.
April 3. So our giveaway ends April 7.
Yes.
And you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel and tag a friend, right?
Yeah, tag a friend that video of Peanut. That little video of Peanut.
Yep. It's like the song like, ooh, I'm blind, blah, 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 blah.
That was good. That was great. Why didn't you throw the dance in there?
I know.
Hey, there it is.
If you guys have TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, ignore that.
Yeah, so tagging a friend in that, sharing, not sharing, yeah.
You need to subscribe to YouTube and then tag a friend on that Blinded by the Light song. And then you'll be entered in a drawing. And then we'll probably like put all your guys' names and like a cowboy hat or something and go live and draw it. And that gets you a whole free month to our Patreon.
Yes,
like
and a
top
video
membership. And then, any videos you guys want to send in. So make sure you do that.
We'll get that taken care of. And that's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully we learned something in lead changes. We saw some mistakes. We saw some good stuff. Share this video with your friends. I'm going to leave it up on Facebook for a while. And then they're all going to YouTube with corrected audio.
Right. And if you watch the replay, like leave like a little rose like so we know you were here or a heart or something.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. We love having you here. Thank you for joining us through the quarantine. Goodbye, Dubs. We're going to come out of this week better than we were before. Right? We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye. Hello.